Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Episode 2, everybody. The Tayler Yarish Show. I'm Tayler Yarish. Thanks for being back here. Second episode. This is exciting. We're building momentum, I think. I don't know if the first episode, I'm still waiting for it to be approved by Apple. I can't imagine what they're doing over there. I can't imagine what is taking so long, why they are so busy. I mean, the iPhones pretty much just make themselves by this point, I think. I mean, they're putting out the same shit every time, right? It's the same phone. It's not anything different. Why can't you approve my podcast, Apple? I'm sick of it. Are you vetting me? Are you trying to scroll through my Twitter to make sure I haven't made any gay jokes? I don't think I have. I don't tweet that much, I'll be honest. I try, and it never goes well. I don't like it. People are always, oh, Twitter's so addicting. It's not. It's really not at all. Maybe I'm just not in the right echo chamber, bubble, or something, but I don't see anything interesting on Twitter. I never do. Text is just inherently less interesting than a picture. Instagram, I get it. TikTok, I get it. Snapchat, if you're still doing that, I get it. But I don't understand why people think Twitter is so addicting. But I'm trying. I'm trying to use it. But what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, so it's not approved yet. Hopefully it will be. So for now, it's just on Spotify. Or maybe this one is on Apple. And by the time I release this, they approved it. Fucking hope so. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to put this out. I said to people I was going to do it, and I have to. So that's what it is. All right. Alone in the apartment I am. Kate went out to get tested for COVID because we're going places. I did not because I don't have insurance, and I'm not paying $125 to get tested. Not doing it. All right? I sleep next to this girl. I kiss her every day. If she's positive and I'm not positive, then, what the fuck? If she's negative, I'm going to assume I'm negative. I know you're not supposed to. I know. But I'm gonna. Because what the hell, man? What is this thing? So she's out getting tested. Do I feel bad that she had to be the one to go? Yeah, of course I do. She's going to be standing in the fucking rain outside City MD for 2.5 hours because there's, 3 people working there who probably don't have insurance themselves, and they don't want to be there. They don't want to get sick. They got a fucking security guard outside so no one storms the gates and tries to steal the rapid test and do it themselves because it takes so long to get through there. I mean, I feel like I could bang it out pretty quick if I was running that show. Just keep funneling them in, shove it up their nose, and then throw it in the UPS slot or whatever they do. They have to go to what's that LabCorp or something. That's what I don't know how they do tests, but again, what is the holdup? Everything is so slow. We've never had more time on our hands. And we can't get anything done. This is, it's quite ridiculous. New York City is just not going well. They shut down, today's Monday, they just shut down indoor dining. It's no more. Yeah, it fucking blows, man. It just sucks. It just shut down indoor dining, and it sucks. I could have been getting unemployment if I just stayed at my job, but I didn't because I wanted to blow my head off. Working there, nothing to do with the restaurant. Love that place, but just wasn't working out. But it's still, man, it sucks. Indoor dining's closing down. Nobody's going to want to fucking sit outside. These restaurants spent like thousands and thousands of dollars to get these heat lamps that honestly don't do anything. They don't do fucking anything. I've never been near a heat lamp and I'm like, wow, this is really cranking it out. It's actually too much. Can you get it away? It's actually too much. I've never experienced that with any of these bullshit heat lamps. You have to like have it hovering above your neck to feel anything. And they're like $4,000 a pop. I remember when I was working at the restaurant, they tried to get them and they couldn't. They were sold out. They were sold out everywhere because everyone was trying to get them because they knew what was coming. And so now all these restaurants, they fucking built like sheds. They built these houses outdoors pretty much to accommodate people so that they could stay afloat. And then they bought all these. I mean, dude, so we were walking around the city. Some of them are really creative. They had like, you know, they were separating each table with like these slabs that had little windows so you could still see the person next to you, but it was blocked away. And they were painted beautifully. I mean, it was so creative. I'm fucking starting to sound like Dave Portnoy in his little rant or whatever, but I agree with it, man. It's crazy. And now they're shutting it down, so it's gonna be rough for people. I'm trying to stay optimistic about everything, but it is tough. It is tough, man. Walks are the only thing we have left. Going on a walk is just, it's so necessary, and it's the only thing that we have. We went into Manhattan because I had to remind myself, I'm like, this is why I moved to this place. I mean, I live in Astoria, Queens, but I used to go to Manhattan every day. I worked in Manhattan. I did fucking comedy around the city in Manhattan. Like, that's why I'm here. I love Astoria, and not here for it. Not here for it. I'm here for Manhattan. So I was like, I need to go back in there. Even if it's not the same, I just need to walk around to still claim that I live here, I feel like. You know what I mean? It's like doing Zoom comedy to express the fact that I still do comedy, which is not the same. Zoom comedy sucks. I don't care what anybody tells you. I mean, I don't think anybody would tell you that it's good, but yeah, doing a comedy show over Zoom fucking blows. It's not fun at all. You can't tell if the audience is laughing. Half of them are on mute. I mean, it's the most reserved, just disconnected experience that you could possibly do. Not a fan. Not a fan. But yeah, we took a walk through Manhattan. We went down. First stop, we went to Prince Street Pizza. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've been here for 5 years, never went there, all right? I was on the Joe's train. Joe's Pizza. If you're not from New York, you don't know. Joe's Pizza, great pizza shop. You know, started in the Village, and then they have a few locations, I think. Very good, just, you know, traditional New York slice of pizza. Most New York pizza, it's not like most of the pizza shops you'll go to, it's not great. They're just kind of like riding off of the name of New York or whatever, and it's not great. But Joe's was good. But went to Prince Street Pizza, which was another name, I'll say, that I just hadn't been to. There's too much pizza. I don't eat fucking pizza that much. I'm trying to stay skinny, fucks. Yeah, so we went there, and god damn, it's fucking good. It's so good. They have like this Sicilian style pizza, and they do like the pepperonis that look like little contacts, like eye contacts. They're cupped. There's like small pepperonis, and they're cupped on the pizza, and it's so good. The dough, you bite into it, and the whole thing just kind of dissolves. It's like a pizza donut, pretty much. I mean, you'd think, oh, it's like there's more bread, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels, when you take a normal bite, it feels just like any other kind of pizza. It's amazing. And so I got a pepperoni, and then I just got like a regular margarita or whatever, and they were completely different. The second one was just, it looked like it was like cheese, and then the sauce was on top, and it was sweeter, and it was herbaceous. It was, oh my God. It was so good. And I'm like, this is why I fucking live in this city. And if it closes down, I swear to Christ. And it just made me sad, man, like how many of those kind of places that I haven't been to in New York that we're for sure going to lose. Like 40% of restaurants, they said, or something like that. we're going to lose. And that's just, it's a fucking bummer, man. It's a fucking bummer. So we went there, Prince Street Pizza, and then we just started walking south a little bit, and we went into it was just called like Christmas in New York. And it was just, the whole thing was just ornaments. It felt like a Spirit Halloween store for Christmas. And they had ornaments. Dude, I did not realize, I've never bought an ornament in my life. Ornaments are just like something that your parents have, and you're like, where did you get these? Did you buy all these? Like, why? I don't know where or when people start to accumulate ornaments. Like, where in the, sort of punching the ticket along your life. You go to high school and you go to college, you get out, you get the job, and then you meet the person, and then you settle down, you get married, and then you have kids, and you grow old, and you yada, yada, and then you die. Where along there are you supposed to start collecting ornaments? Nobody tells you. You're just supposed to, you just get a tree one day. You have your first place, you have your first apartment or your first house or whatever, and Christmas rolls around. You're like, oh, yeah, let's get a tree. And then you're like, all right, let's put the Christmas stuff on. Like, I thought just houses, oh, yeah, you buy a house and it comes with Christmas stuff. Comes with the Christmas decorations. Like, no, you just have to accumulate this shit over your life and then use it for 1 month and then just stuff it in a box for the 11 months, of the year. Like, you need the storage. I don't know. I just don't. When is that supposed to, when are you supposed to start doing that? So I went into this store, and they had hand-painted ornaments that weren't great, but, you could tell they were hand-painted. So somebody took their time, but they were like $30. Like $30 for one ornament. That's bananas. And even the ones that weren't, like, the balls that were, like, painted, they were just, crystallized or that's not the word. It was something. Either way, they're way too expensive for what is basically looks like a keychain. I mean, it's too much. They had, the fucking Santa ones, and then ones that were, it's New York, and then they had a whole section for, like, biblical figures, and they had a whole biblical figurine set up, like, for lawn ornament decorations or whatever. And I realized I cannot recognize one biblical figure. They had a whole display, a whole scene going on, and there was a baby. Anytime, first of all, any, like, biblical display and there's a baby, I'm like, that's baby Jesus. It's got to be. It's got to be baby Jesus. To me, there's no other babies that exist in biblical times. Everyone else was just born at 27 years old. So I see the baby, I'm like, all right, that's baby Jesus. I always, when I see the biblical, like, scenes, I start with baby Jesus and I work my way out. I'm like, that's got to be Mary. And then that's, that's the one dude. And then everybody else is just like a goat herder to me. They, you know what I mean? Nobody has, like, recognizable features. You know what I mean? Nobody has, like, a slash top hat sort of recognizable, like, oh shit, that's that guy. That's gotta be, nobody else has hair like that. That's, you know what I mean? He was the only one at that time who rocked that cut. Oh my God, fucking, yellow trench coat, that's gotta be Abraham. It's gotta be. Abraham rocked the yellow trench coat, and we all know this. No, they're all just dressed in a fucking sheet. And they all have beards. You all look the same. None of you are special. Nobody had any flair. Nobody just had a little pizzazz. Maybe just some cool shoes or nothing going on. Or, like, at least etch your initials into your goat or something. I don't know. I didn't read any of the stories. I never read the Bible. I had a few, when I went to church when I was like 5, they give you like an abridged version of the Bible that has a bunch of pictures, but I don't have that anymore. I never did the research. I can't recognize them. So safe to say we didn't buy anything in that store. But those are the stores that, like, you know, they crush it for a month, and then I don't know where they go. They close down. Like Spirit Halloween, they open up and they're barely a store for a month, and then they close, and like you just like, I don't know, do you just not go? I don't know where they go. I don't trust places that just open up shop for a month and then, you know what I mean? It's like a H&R Block. Like they set it up every year, and then like, is there some discussion where they have to gather the employees and be like, all right, it's that time. You're all fired. How does that work? Questions that need to be answered. This is probably why I should have a co-host on this podcast, but I don't. I'm just going to ask questions into the ether and then not look them up, even though I have a laptop right next to me. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing. The store was packed, though, too, which I thought was kind of crazy. Again, I'm not in the ornament game. Maybe there's like a huge black market, and they're like, oh, shit, they got the fucking, you know, I don't know. It's a world that I'm not familiar with. Speaking of worlds I'm not familiar with, we went further south, and we ended up like by the Supreme Court and by the City Hall area, and I saw where the fucking mayor works or whatever. I'm surprised that place is still standing. I mean, I don't think there's been a mayor who has been more universally hated than this guy. I didn't even know about him. I missed the times when I didn't know who the mayor was. But now he ends up on my Instagram feed. I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Dude, if you want to laugh, go to Bill de Blasio's Instagram and then just look at the comments, because no matter how uplifting his message is or whatever his tweet is, it is the most vile. Like, people are really not liking this guy, and you know, it's good to see just people agree on something, I guess. But I was like, oh, cool, that's where he works. And then Kate and I were like, where does he live? Not that I'm going to go there, but like, oh yeah, I wonder where, does he live in like a nice part of Manhattan, you know? Does he live in like Chelsea or just some cool fucking downtown apartment overlooking? Then we look it up. Oh, no. He lives way up on the Upper East Side in a mansion. It's literally called the Gracie Mansion. This thing is fucking huge. It's got, you know, all this land on it. And, you know, it's all fenced in. And then it's got a beautiful view and all this shit. It's like, no wonder this guy wants to fucking lock everything down. He's like, I want to live here. I live here. I'm never here. I'm always downtown working, and it sucks and it smells. And I live in a palace, and I'd like to just enjoy my robe. I have so many robes, I never wear them. And he just wants to hang out. He's like, I have a dog. The thing doesn't even know who I am. Please, let me just sit in my backyard and watch the place burn. I don't need restaurants. I have a cook. So he's sitting pretty. It's called Gracie Mansion. It's like somewhere, I don't know, I want to say like 93rd and then all the way to the river or whatever. God, must be nice. Must be nice. But other than that, it was a good day. It was a good walk. You gotta get out there and walk. If you live in a place where you have land and fresh air, oh man, I envy you. I sure do. I sure do, man. Having a fucking tough time. But I still find things to laugh at. Like, I just saw that, did you see Simon Cowell? So he, 61, okay? And he broke his back riding a e-bike. He broke it, and this thing, this e-bike is not like any other e-bike. It does like 60 miles an hour or something like that. And now, so he was like, oh, I'm in the hospital. No, it's totally okay, and everyone's feeling bad for him. Great. But now he's considering suing the e-bike company. He's going to sue the e-bike company that sold him the bike that he broke his back on. The bike was 20 grand and it does 60 miles an hour, which, first of all, $20,000, you got ripped off. You for sure got ripped off. I mean, you could buy a new Ducati for 20 grand and you bought a fucking e-trail bike, you know. I mean, instead of suing the company, how about you just don't ride an e-bike that goes 60 miles an hour? Have you ever thought about doing that? I mean, you're 61 years old. Why sue? Does every accident have to result in someone suing somebody else? Is there no fucking personal responsibility anymore? Nobody ever just messes up and it's their fault. You know what I mean? Nobody just messes up and they're like, wow, I screwed up. I tried to crank it in a third gear and the thing took off and I'm not strong enough to hold onto the handlebars and I fell because I'm 60. But no, he's got to be a victim. He said that he's like, the dangers weren't explained to me. Are you a child? You bought it because it goes fast and you thought it was cool and you wanted to look 22. That's why you got it. You got it for the dangers. You wanted to ride around in your fucking backyard with a white V-neck on and sunglasses like a washed up Coachella DJ. And you wanted to look cool. That's what you do. But you're 61. Do 61-year-old shit. You know what I mean? Smoke a cigar. Sit in your backyard. Read a book. You're in your 60s now. It's fine. You don't have to ride a fucking e-bike. You moron. I mean, rich guy fucking messes up and he's suing a small business. I mean, if that's a rich guy fucking up and suing a small business, that's an American Idol. I'll tell you what. Fuck Carrie Underwood. That's an American Idol. Is he even on that show anymore? I don't think so. I think he's been on that show for like 10 years. Either way. But let's sue them. Sue the company. That's what we do. As soon as he got his feeling back in his fingers, he's like, call Celino. I need to burn this company to the ground. I broke my back because of their bike. Not because I'm a 60-year-old vegan who looks like Kris Jenner. Call Celino. We're leaving a lot of money on the table. Suing for damages. I don't understand that. You're suing for damages. I'm suing because of how you made me feel. What about all the broke singers that came on your show and you made them cry because you said they had no talent on national television? They didn't sue for damages. They signed up for it. That's the whole fun of an e-bike or a motorcycle is the risk of damages. It's the fun of, oh my God, yay, oh my God, at any moment we might die, but for now, who gives a fuck? That's what it is. You didn't have damages. You were just embarrassed because you bought the thing and within 5 minutes you broke your spine. He's got more money than God. I mean, what's another 10 million gonna do? He's got fucking 9 shows. I've never seen a dude with less talent have 4 shows about talent. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? I don't know. I might be, kicking him while he's down. He's got a broken back or whatever, but don't fucking sue the business. This business sells e-bikes, and there's a lot of them, and they managed to make an e-bike that they sell for 20 grand, and it seems to work on people. Don't sue the company because you bought their thing and didn't read the instructions. I'm sure it said danger about 1,000 times. God. It wasn't explained to me. I tried to ride the bike and it wasn't explained to me, so that's why I got... Shut up! And get off Twitter. Ugh. I don't know, man. I just saw that and it put me in a weird mood, it did. Because, you don't have to do that. I had a fucking e-bike. Or not an e-bike, I had a, I guess it's an electric version of a Vespa. It's a 2-seater kind of deal. You see a lot of them in New York, people delivering on them. It's this company called Fly, and they make all these different versions, like a Fly 3, Fly 7, Fly 9. They're just different sizes of, battery, and they go different speeds or whatever. But I bought one. I bought one for $1,000, and it went like 40. So I don't know where the extra 19 grand is coming from. And, I bought it. I bought this thing for $1,000, and it was one of those, I deserve it moments. And within a week and a half, somebody stole it. This happened recently. A week and a half, somebody stole my fucking bike. Man, when somebody steals something like that from you, it's such a weird, surreal feeling where I walked outside to move it because I parked it on the street, and I was like, oh, I got to move it to the other side of the street because of cleaning and all this shit. And you go outside, and it's parked right outside my apartment. And it's such a weird feeling, an empty, hopeless feeling when you go outside and it's just not there, and you're like, wait. And I walked up the street like it would have moved on its own, or somebody would have been like, let me fuck with them, I'll move it up the street. And you just don't believe it at first, and it just slowly starts to sink in of like, oh, it's gone. It's just gone. And it's a weird thing where I immediately accepted it. I saw it, I didn't see it, but it disappeared, and I was like, okay, that's what happens. That's what happens to me. You put a little lock on it, and somebody, I had the steering wheel lock and I had a wheel lock. There was no battery in it, so you couldn't even turn it on. And I'm guessing fucking a few guys just came up, rolled up with a van, snipped the lock, threw it in the van, drove off. And you know what? Lesson learned. I fucked up. Can't sue anybody. I fucked up. And went back inside. I told Kate, and she was just like, oh no. And she convinced me, I now wish I didn't, she convinced me to file a police report. So I called the cops, which is always a weird call, and I'm like, hey, they were like, do you need an ambulance, fire, or something, or one other thing? I was like, I don't know. I don't think I need any of those. I'm like, this is not an emergency, which is not the way you want to start a 911 call, by saying this is not an emergency. But it wasn't. And I was just like, hey, my scooter got stolen. That's kind of it. Here's my info. And they're like, all right, we'll send a car by. Now, anytime a car is coming to my destination, I think in terms of like Uber, food delivery, that kind of thing. I'm like, oh, they're 10 minutes away. Cool. I'm going to go wait outside for them. Kate was like, are you sure? I don't know if you should wait outside for them. I mean, it might take a minute. I'm like, listen, I called 10 minutes ago. They're probably almost here. And I stood outside for like 5 minutes. I came back in like, I don't think they're coming yet. Hour and a half goes by. I called them at 11 p.m. So this is like, what's that, 12:30? It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock. I gave up and I went to bed. And then they called me. And they were like, yeah, we're outside. And it was the most just comical, because we both knew that we were never going to find this thing, but they have to like go through the whole spiel and fill out the report. And they're like, did it have a plate? I'm like, there's no plates on it. It's just a black scooter. He's like, all right, when did you get it? And I told him when I got it. I had the VIN number, but like, what are they gonna do? But he was a nice guy. He's like, yeah, we'll file this, and a detective should give you a call in a few days. I was like, oh, a detective. I get a detective? They're going to come out with a fucking magnifying glass and look in the front? I'm like, in my head, I was like, don't send anybody. They're not going to find anything. And you know what? No detective called me. There was no detective. But now I just walk around the streets, and every fucking bike I see that's black and it looks brand new, I want to chase the person down. I mean, I'm literally profiling every single person. I'm like, you motherfucker, you stole that's my scooter. I see them all the time now. You know what I mean? It's like when you are looking to purchase something and then you see that thing everywhere. Well, now I just see my stolen scooter everywhere. And it's really getting on my nerves. There's a guy on my block who I just found out has the same fucking scooter as me. I was walking up the block. I saw him park it, and I was like, let me just go check it out. And I'm walking past it, And he was like taking out the garbage or something, and he's standing right by the scooter, and it's brand new. It's my fucking scooter. I'm looking at it. And I was like, I have to say something. I can't not say anything. This could be my goddamn thing. So I was like, hey, how long have you had this? And he's like, like 2 months. And I'm just kind of slow. I'm just working him, just asking him a few questions about it, like I'm interested in getting one and yada, yada, yada. I'm surveying this thing like a psycho looking for the VIN number because it's the only identifying factor I have of this thing. And then I noticed that on the back wheel is a different fucking VIN number. Not my scooter. So now I'm just in a conversation with a stranger, which nobody likes to do. But yeah, it turns out he got this new scooter because his was stolen. People are out just robbing fucking scooters, dude, because it's the future of transportation. Nobody wants to take the subway because everyone's sick, and no one wants to walk because we're all fat. So everyone's just sitting on a scooter. And they're a lot of fun. Ask Simon Cowell. They're a lot of fun if you're not a moron. And you don't just rip it into the highest gear when you're in your backyard and you're 60 and a vegan. You know, they can be a lot of fun. And I enjoyed mine for about a week. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever purchased. I have freedom amongst the New York City streets. There's nobody out. And I have this machine with no plates that I have so much freedom. I have the wind on my bald head. And it felt so amazing. And now it's all gone. It was a great way to not cap 2020, but it was a nice crescendo, I would say. You know, with everything that happened. So that's where we are, folks. That's where we are. And hopefully it gets better from here. You know, a lot of people are struggling. And, you know, I just hope that we can all continue to just try to be nice to each other and fucking work through this, man, because it's going to be... The vaccine's coming. It is coming, and it'll be over hopefully soon, but I'd say not for another 6 months at least. So I know it's fucking tough. People are struggling. Nobody has a job. But we'll get through it. And if anybody, you know, is feeling down, I've felt down in the past few months, call somebody. Not even like a therapist. Just call a friend. Dude, nobody calls each other anymore. Just call a friend. Call me. You have my number. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably have my number. Give me a call. I'll talk. We'll do a podcast together. Hey. Look at that. 32 minutes. All right. Yeah, that's the podcast for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening or listening to any part of it. Just click on it. Please, I would say rate and review on iTunes, but Apple hasn't fucking accepted it yet. But when that happens, give me a rate and review because it helps with the algorithm and the Illuminati or the Machiavellian, whatever the hell it is. It just helps. That's what I've been told, and that's what I've been told. So yeah, that's the podcast. Thank you so much. Catch you next time. All right. Peace out. Thanks.